Hello my friends and welcome back. Today I'm going to share with you my 10 cards using the Simon Says Stamp November 2019 card kit, and I'm finally able to get back to my 10 card videos, which I'm super excited. And this kit was a little bit of a challenge for me because I'm not very good with masking, and so I decided to try out these cards that we got because I've seen a few of the other people that do the cards from these kits online that you can use all kinds of different mediums. So I tried Zigs. These are my Zig clean color markers, and those are watercolor markers. I tried Copics. Didn't really like the Copics. This is the watercolor palette that they gave us. And then I used my Copics again to see if I could get that one to work. So I did try some different mediums, and I can tell you that the Copics don't blend all that well. So I heard you could use them, but honestly, I wouldn't. I feel like you waste a lot of ink on there, like a lot, trying to blend those out. So I won't do that again. But the Zigs were my favorite. Those worked the best. The watercolor palette was a little too light for me, and I think that's fine if you want to. I think that's a great palette to maybe share with the kids and give them some of these cards and let them just go to town because, yeah, that's how that one looks. It's really light the way it comes out, but I think it's still cute. So these 4 cards I'm going to do pretty quickly, just using A2 size card base. I'm matting them with some just different colors from my stash. None of these colors actually came in our kit. Just placing them down, and any embellishing I already did before I put the panels on, which was using, let's see, what did I use? I used diamond stickles. I used the Nuvo Blizzard drops, um, glossy accents, shimmer pen, my Spectrum shimmer pen, and yeah, I think that's all I used on each one of these, just to kind of give it a little bit of extra since I really didn't do much to them. And this one I decided to kind of cut down the pine cones into like a sprig, and then using some of the pattern paper I just created like the wood grain base. And then this is from my stash. This is just some orange. That was real pretty. It's very sparkly. I'm going to mat one of the other pattern papers that has like the green and brown hashtags on it. This thanks came in, I believe it was last month's Simon Says kit. Cut that out 3 times with the brown cardstock. And then I just popped up the pine cones on the foam, and that is going to complete it. That'll be the end of that card. So here's a close-up of all 4. Again, that one was the Copics. Used way too much ink for that. This one was the watercolor palette that they sent us in the kit. These are my Zigs. And then this one here is, again, Copics. So now on to the next card was using the stamp set, and I also made a couple of cards with Gina K masking paper, and this one was all free, no masking paper. This was just taking the stamps on a block and going around it, trying to figure out, actually no, I used my mini Misty to line them all up, and now I'm just going to mat that on the green cardstock that came in the kit. This thanks is from Spellbinders. I think it was last month's Spellbinders monthly kit. Again, 3 times with the brown cardstock. And then I added the little pearls to the center of all the flowers. This one I colored in with my Tri-Blend, the Spectrum Noir Tri-Blend markers. So on to my next card. This one I tried with the masking. I like how it kind of started to come out, but then I messed up the background, so I ended up just white splattering it and then adding some of the Nuvo Blizzard drops on the bottom and trying to kind of cover up my mistake that I made. You'll see in the close-up. I was trying a technique that I saw on Pinterest, and I totally messed it up. I'm just not good at the whole, I don't know if I waited too long, if I should have used my zero marker sooner to blend out the little dots in the background. I don't know. Anyway, I probably won't ever try it again. So the Warm Winter Wishes is a Spellbinders die from last year. And I thought that kind of went, since I splattered the whole thing with snow. Added some gold sequins, and that's going to complete that. See, that background is just horrid. Absolutely horrid. So on to my next one. So this one I just took a couple of the sprigs from the stamp set, put them at the bottom. Now I'm going to use the little banner. And I'm using some one of the little Hero ink cubes, and I think that one's called Nest. I'm just gonna, it's kind of a brown. And then I'm going to use, this is a leaf colored American Crafts pigment ink to do the sending you love sentiment inside of there. I only did a couple times. And now I'm going to mat that onto some of the pattern paper. But before I do that, I'm going to add my little trees here. So these are the, I don't even know, birch trees, I guess, the birch trees. I'm going to add them to the background. So this is my version of a clean and simple card because I don't really know how to do clean and simple, but this is as close as I'm going to get to clean and simple. So I'm just going to add my birch trees to the background on just one side, and then I will trim that off, the excess off, and then add that to my card base. And I'm going to pop up my deer, add some more of those sequins because they're sitting in front of me, just to give it a little bit of sparkle. I suppose if it was going to be a clean and simple, I should have stopped before this, but I like sparkle, and they're sitting in front of me, and that always happens. I don't touch something forever, and then it's in front of me, and I use it on every card. So there's that one. And for this one, I want to say I use my tri-blend markers on all of these guys right here. For this one, I'm using a die. This is a die from Cat Scrappiness. I think it's called, I want to say Scalloped Frame. I want to say that's the name of it, but I'm not 100% sure. I layered it on top of a piece of fun foam that I also cut out with the die just to give it a little bit of dimension. And now I'm backing the top ones with the wood grain, and then the bottom one, I took the piece that I cut out from that hashtag pattern paper, which I stamped myself a little cluster around a sentiment from the stamp set also that I heat embossed with the copper embossing powder. I colored this in with my alcohol markers and worked great on the pattern paper. I didn't do anything super exciting, not a ton of blending, but I was surprised with the hearts that it didn't bleed at all. So I guess this is pretty good pattern paper. So I'm going to pop up my little bunny and my bear, and that is going to do it for this card. Pretty simple, easy card. I love frames like this because it's like having little windows that you can decorate. So that one, like I said, is available over at Cat Scrappiness Shop. I have a couple other dies that I use throughout this, so if you head over to my blog post, I will have all of the links to all these products in case there's something in here that you want to give a try. I'll have stuff linked. I don't have any affiliate accounts, so none of it, I mean, you know what I mean. Link away. How's that? So with this one, I'm just going to let it speak for itself. It was a complete disaster. So I had a good intention, and if you want to try to make this one, I would put down a pattern before you glue them in place, but I got into a hurry and started gluing, and then totally, I mean, you can see these big old spaces. I should have had like a plan B, but I didn't. So to make it so that I could put down the Merry Christmas, this is just a die from my stash that I picked up. I'm going to use my T-square to make sure it's straight. I put a vellum band around it so that I could place all these down without the busy in the back. I made another one of the deer kind of look like Rudolph. He's the only one with the red nose. I'm going to add a little bow underneath him. And you can see there's big gaps all over the back of the card. I absolutely hate that. But to try to fix it, I had a couple of stars that I had cut out that were sitting on my desk, and so I kind of tried to put them in there to break it up a little bit. Not my favorite, but still okay. This still came out okay. For this card, this is a 4.5 by 4.5 card base, and I created a little shaker element in the middle. So I'm using some of the pattern paper and then some red sparkly paper. I cut out 2 times with the fun foam, and then once with the craft paper that came in the cardstock, and I'm showing you what I used there. It was a little Cat Scrappiness die along with the die that came in your kit. I gave myself, I put a piece of acetate, and now I'm using a little sequin mix. This is another sequin mix from the Cat Scrap shop. I think it's called Peppermint Twist. And then I also added some of the snowflake sprinkles in there and iridescent stars to give it a little more sparkle. Now I'm going to glue that onto my backing. And now I'm going to add some snowflakes that are from, let's say it's old Spellbinders snowflakes, and then the Holiday Cheer, which is last month's Spellbinders kit. And now I'm just going to color in the antlers using my E49, and that will complete my shaker card. Pretty quick and easy. Here's a close-up of that one. That's a real easy shaker card to do. So because I wanted to see how fast I could make tags, because I have tags that I wanted to make this year, and I'm trying to find the fastest one where I can make lots of them. And this one is, so far, this is probably the fastest tag I've made. So I'm just using the La La Land Crafts, the tag dies from them, and they have the tag toppers, and I'm just using the pattern paper. I cut it out from the craft paper, and then again from the wood grain paper, and I just stuck the little guy right in the middle like I showed you. I added a little red nose, used my black gel pen for the eyes, and placed just cheer at the bottom. You can use joy, cheer, anything that you want. Put little to and from in the back, and then that's it. This was a very fast tag. This is just a little extra I thought I'd add in there just to show you that you can make a whole bunch of those really fast if you're in need of some cute tags. For my 10th card, I'm out of breath because, man, the speeding up these videos is tiring to keep talking this fast. But for the 10th card, I wanted to use up the scraps. I really do like this paper a lot. And so these are the scraps left over when I cut down my panels. And so I'm just going to create myself a little wallpaper in the back there with the 3 of the leftover pieces. And I'm just placing them on the green cardstock that came in the kit, just a little panel, which I will trim everything down to fit inside of my A2 size card base there. So I'll just trim off all the excess. And then the white strip at the top that looks like a white strip, but you can see those little like tannish brown stars all over it. I love that paper. I think it is so pretty. It's so delicate. So I'm going to use that as another one of the extra leftovers. I'm going to place it across the middle. I'm going to pop up one of the cut aparts that I mounted on the wood grain piece of the wood grain, and then you can see my trees upside down. Yeah, I fixed that. No worries. I'm like, what is going on? Why are my trees upside down? So I turned it around, and then I added it to my card base. And now I'm just going to add, these are the clear droplets. And I will place those on the card as well, just to give it a little bit of sparkle, because it's pretty plain. I also added the white dash lines all the way around because it just looked a little too plain there in the middle, and that will complete my 10th card. There's a close-up of that one. And now I will just run through all 10 cards and my one tag. And yeah, I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. You guys have made this year totally awesome for me. I'm on the La La Land design team. I'm on the Cat Scrappiness design team. I have had such a wonderful year, and I've had so much fun doing all of these videos and creating all these different cards and projects for you guys. Just had like a most amazing year ever, and I'm hoping that next year will be just as good as this year. And again, thank you guys so much. I super appreciate it, and I will try to get more of the 10 card videos out. I know I've been kind of slacking lately, but I've got a Spellbinders one coming up, the next Simon Says one, and then another Spellbinders one coming up, and I want to try to get them out before the end of the year. So keep an eye out for those. There'll also be some more projects for La La Land and Cat Scrappiness, and then, yeah. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you again real soon. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.